Almost 10 years ago, I remember Michael Bennett causing controversy for criticizing the NBA's reigning MVP for charging children $2,000 for a camp. In hindsight, Steph Curry wasn't the mega millionaire he was today. But let's not act like he wasn't making $11 million. Something interesting about this controversy was the fact that professional athletes at the time were calling out their peers for charging for camps.
I just always wanted to just give back and always make it free, because I know growing up I wasn't able to afford the things like go to certain camps or do certain things. And I've been here and like I see a lot of different athletes come through Hawaii, you know, whether it's Steph Curry or whoever it is, you know, and they all come here and it makes me mad because I live in this community and I understand this community that there's so many kids that can't afford, you know, to pay such a high amount of money. And my mind is like, how much money do you need before you start giving back for free?
The initial pushback was centered around the fact that camps aren't free to run. After venue costs, operation costs such as employee salaries, and ancillary items such as food, the cost to run a camp isn't cheap. And I think everyone can understand that. The problem is Michael Bennett and Martellus Bennett immediately started pushing back, saying that camps can be subsidized by grants from the NFL. Whether it's $2,000 to $5,000, the NFL Foundation provides for youth football camps, or the NFLPA's Player Camp Program grant, many of these camps can be subsidized. So why am I making this video? I may have gotten into some controversy. A few weeks ago, I talked about how many of these camps do not appear to be what they portray themselves as. Instead of them being camps which football is celebrated, they are borderline money laundering fronts where players take all the proceeds.
Okay, so you guys want me to be messy? I'll be messy. The NFL has a youth program called NFL Play 60. It's centered around providing free, keyword is free, football camps for children. NFL players are encouraged to use the NFL Foundation's grant program through the NFLPA's Player Camp program to offer all children, not just underprivileged youth, all children, a free camp experience. This is one of, if not the most important factors in order to be nominated for the NFL's most prestigious award, the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award. Despite having zero expenses when it comes to these camps, NFL players are still making campers pay fees. Many of these camps will say they're raising money for bullying prevention or cancer research or another cause, but there's no proof they actually make that donation. Where is that money going? It's dispersed amongst NFL players working the camps, which is a collection of 3 crimes off the top of my head: grant fraud, theft by conversion, and wire fraud. How do I know this? When I played college football, I was in my locker room, and I witnessed NFL players, grown men, and also elite NFL players bragging about how much money they were going to make off the camp.
Fast forward to a day later after I posted this video, the video started popping off. The problem is that I started getting criticism for being too harsh.
Since my last video, I've had NFL players, wags, and the mom of my favorite NFL player in my comment section upset with the fact that I exposed this weird NFL scheme. The second set of criticism is that NFL players using the Play 60 grant only receive $5,000 for their camp, which is true, but they seem to be forgetting the $10,000 team matching grant made by their teams and the contribution made by sponsors. You're trying to tell me that Nike and EA Sports doesn't have a charitable contribution going towards Saquon Barkley's camp? Get the fuck. Last thing. You guys don't realize how petty I am. Because you guys piss me off, anyone that comments an NFL player's name that he's throwing a Play 60 camp, I'm going to audit them and make a video about it. My day job takes plenty of my time, right? I can't even post on this app every single day, but I'm going to make time for you, right? Because a raggedy high school dropout wag thought she was smart enough to say something in my comment.
After this, I made another video. A former NFL Man of the Year and his team reached out to me. They assured me what I already knew. The problem is, the next morning, I had deleted stitches from multiple unidentified people. Better yet, watch this video.
I have struck a nerve with the WAG community. I repeat, I have struck a nerve with the WAG community. First things first, I want to apologize to my jobless queens. Some of you have high school diplomas and GEDs, and it's only fair that I acknowledge your accomplishments. With that being said, if your boyfriend is the emergency long snapper for the Dallas Cowboys, it's in your best interest to sit this one out. He will be in the running for the George Reed Award by September if you keep on playing with me. And for the moment that you guys have all been waiting for, I just want to say I am good at this social media shit, right? I knew wags were going to stitch my video and defend their man, right? To my surprise, this morning, one wag wanted to stitch my video and call me out. I really don't care about her video, but just know, she is the wife of Baltimore Ravens running back, Justin Hill. In her recently deleted video, she said I was just yapping, and I don't know what I'm talking about, which could be true, But then she said something suspicious. She said that the grants don't always cover the costs associated with the camp, which could be true. But with that being said, let's give Miss opportunity to make a video where she shows us notarized financial statements that her husband and her brother-in-law didn't make a dime off that camp.
Before I continue, I need to say something. When these videos popped off, I had a company reach out to me and offered to sponsor this exact video. I know I was surprised that someone hated NFL players and WAG. At the very last second, on July 22nd, they pulled their sponsorship in the approval phase for this video. I'm actually refilming this video. This is actually the mid-roll for this video. I am sponsorless, but don't feel bad for me. It's okay. I have a job. With that being said, let me get back to my story. Following that last TikTok video, my video was unjustly reported.
I told the wags not to piss me off, and guess what they did? Pissed me off. Last week was a good week for my content, okay? I had 3 viral videos, 2 of which had to do with NFL players and their unethical charities. I made a follow-up video to a wag who criticized my initial 2 videos, and it was doing well. And by my standards, it's technically still doing well. The thing is, I have a day job that is actually intellectually demanding. And I didn't notice till about an hour ago that TikTok had stopped sharing my video on the For You page because it had been reported. Mind you, I have an idea who reported my video. With that being said, the wags and their husband pissed me off. Here's where it gets wicked.
So that brings us to today. We are going to talk about a few things. I've already submitted my findings to the IRS. Of the 2,024 players in training camp today, approximately 107 of them held camps in their names in association with the NFLPA. Approximately 49 of those camps, parents or children had to pay to attend. And of those camps, 15 of those camps were associated with the player's charity or foundation. These are my findings. I want to start off on a positive note. 3 players stood out being exemplary. The players are Tua Tagovailoa, Trayvon Walker, and Adam Thielen. Both Tua and Adam Thielen both have camps over $100, but they both donate a boatload of money every year, and they increase their fundraising efforts every year. Tua actually hired a company to help him with fundraising, and then Thielen's foundation runs a loss despite donating over $1 million. Walker is interesting because he has a very affordable camp, and he was still able to donate about $90,000 according to his most recent public filing. But he continues to increase his fundraising efforts and increases the investable assets for the foundation year after year. It was actually the highest of all players that I reviewed. To some of you, this may seem like a red flag. I mean, he only donated about $90,000, but invested about $1 million in his foundation's name. But I'm not going to criticize Trayvon Walker for something that we praise Bill and Melinda Gates for doing year after year. The next group of players are players that I'm indifferent about. Baker Mayfield and Quincy and Quinnen Williams. All 3 players in their most recent filings just had money sitting in their account. I think it's important to note that they may just be looking for the best charity partner, so I'm not going to criticize them too harshly for the amount that they raise. The next group of players I personally think are superstars that should just put more effort. Micah Parsons and Saquon Barkley. Barkley has really great paperwork and appears to be laying down the groundwork for his foundation. The only problem is that I find it very hard to believe that he can only donate $5,700 for a camp. He charged approximately $300 a camper. To put this into perspective, that would mean only 19 kids attended Saquon Barkley's camp. Micah Parsons, on the other hand, runs more camps than any player in the NFL. In all honesty, of all the players that I reviewed, Micah had more camps than any player. Here's the thing. I know Jerry Jones doesn't want to pay him, but it is odd that he doesn't even have $50,000 in gross receipts. So all I have to say is stop lying, Micah. I nearly put you in the next group of players. The next group of players I think are frauds. So please come to the front of the classroom. Khalil Shakir, Josh Downs, and Devontae Adams. All three of these players promote their foundations. None of them exist. Lastly, the last group of players are the worst of the worst. One of them will not be a surprise, to be honest. These players say they have foundation, but even the IRS has revoked their status. Tyreek Hill, which is it's no surprise. And this one hurt my heart because I'm a Bears fan. DJ Moore. On to the next topic. The biggest losers in the NFL are players that charge an insane amount of money to attend their camps. We all knew coming into this video that players were charging upwards of $100 for glorified meet and greets. But you guys don't understand how bad it gets. Here are the players charging over $200 or more for their camps. Khalil Shakir, Josh Downs, Baker Mayfield, Antoine Winfield Jr., Drake London, Puka Nakua, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Devontae Adams, Dawson Knox, CeeDee Lamb, Daniel Carlson. Daniel Carlson. Imagine paying $300 for a kicking camp. Whatever. Let's get back to the list. Dalton Kincaid, Saquon Barkley, Nick and Joey Bosa, Aaron Jones, Quincy Williams, Brock Purdy. I just want to mention Aaron Jones in third place charges $440 for his camp. Quincy Williams charges over $500 at the highest for his camp. And Brock Purdy, the biggest piece of shit in the NFL, charges $850 for his camp. The last thing I want to talk about is the tax exempt charities I talked about earlier in the video. When I was having my parasocial beef with the wags of the NFL, one weird set of criticism from Derrick Henry's backup's wife, she mentioned the fact that you can make money off your camps, and in essence, you can technically pay yourself a salary. The only common denominator for each real charity, and let me repeat that, real charity that I've mentioned in this video, from Baker Mayfield to Adam Thielen to Quincy Williams, no player or immediate family member were paid as it relates to their charity. With that being said, this is the end of the video.